name is Mike Rash. We'll be doing a pre-trip inspection test on a Class B vehicle. For the pre-trip inspection test, you must name each item, point to or touch the item, fully explain what you're inspecting the item for. Test is divided up into 3 sections: Form A, Form B, and in-cab inspection. We'll start at the front of the vehicle and do Form A, which is the front of the vehicle and the engine compartment, the steering components, and the front driver's side axle. Then we'll continue with Form B, which will be the driver door fuel area to the rear of the vehicle. This includes the underside of the vehicle and the driver's side axle. Then we'll do the in-cab inspection and engine start to complete the vehicle inspection. So we'll go on and demonstrate Form A for you. Start with Form A. You have to name each item, point to or touch the item, and fully explain what you're inspecting the item for. And we'll start at the front of the vehicle with our lights. Lights should be securely mounted. Proper color amber in the front of the vehicle. Headlights should be clear, clean, securely mounted, not cracked. Also check underneath our vehicle for leaks. Make sure there are no leaks underneath our vehicle. We'll go on and inspect the engine compartment. We'll start with the oil. Pull the dipstick out. Make sure it's between add and full. Check my coolant level. Make sure it's sufficient for operation between minimum and maximum. Check our power steering fluid. Make sure it's between add and full. Follow my power steering hose to the power steering pump. Must say it's gear driven. Securely mounted, not leaking. Working properly and not damaged. Also would check my air compressor. Must say that it's gear driven. It's securely mounted to the engine. Hoses are secure. It's not leaking. Working properly and no damage. Also check the washer fluid. Make sure I have fluid in my washer fluid. Check this side of the motor. Check all my hoses. Not kinked or swollen. All my clamps are tight and not leaking. Also check this side of the motor for any leaks. We'll go over to the other side of the motor. Inspect the alternator. Must be securely mounted. Wires are secure on the back of the alternator. Also have to say it's belt driven. Belt should be between 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of tension on the belt, not split or cut. Now check the water pump. Make sure the water pump is securely mounted, not leaking. Must say it's belt driven. Belt's not cracked or frayed. Tension should be between 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of tension. Check this side of the motor. Check all my hoses. Make sure they're not split or cut. Make sure all my clamps are tight, not leaking. Also check this side of the motor for any excessive oil leaks or any fluid leaks. Go back to the other side of the vehicle and check our steering components. Check our steering box. Should be securely mounted, not leaking. No missing nuts or bolts. Check our steering hoses. Should not be split or cut, not leaking. Fittings are secure. Also check my steering linkage. It's not bent or cracked. No missing nuts or bolts. They're all secure. Carter pins are in place. Sockets are not worn or loose. We'll check our steering linkage from our steering wheel all the way to our steering box, and from our steering box all the way to our axle. We'll check our front axle. We'll start with our leaf springs. They're not broken. They're not cracked. None missing. They're all in alignment. We'll go on to our U-bolts. They're securely mounted. Nuts are tight. They're not broken or missing. Our spring mounts, they should be securely mounted, not cracked. Bushings are not missing or torn. Also have to check the front spring mount. Check our shock absorber. Make sure it's securely mounted. It's not leaking. We'll go on to our brake parts. Check our air line. Fittings should be secure. Hose should not be split or cut, cracked or swollen. Check our brake chamber. Should be securely mounted. It's not cracked or dented or leaking. Also have to check the clamp on the brake chamber. It should be secure, tight, and in place. Check our push rod. It's not bent or broke. Should not move more than 1 inch when you apply the foot brake. Also check our slack adjuster. Pins in place, holding the slack adjuster to the push rod. Slack adjuster is not bent or broke. Check our brake drum. It should be securely mounted. No holes, no cracks. Should be smooth. No signs of grease or oil on my drums. Then check our brake linings. Pad should be sufficient, more than 1/4 inch. Also no signs of grease or oil on my brake pads. We'll go on to our front wheel. Inspect our tire. Should have minimum 4/32 of an inch of tread depth. No cuts or bubbles on the sidewall. Tread should be evenly worn, no flat spots. Check our valve stem. Should not be missing, broken, twisted, secured with a cap. Check my tire pressure with an air gauge. Inspect our rim. Should not be cracked or bent. No rust trails indicating a loose rim. No aftermarket welds on the rim. Check our lug nuts to ensure none are missing, not loose. Looking for rust trails. No cracks or distorted lug nut holes. Check my axle seal. Make sure it's not leaking. If it had a sight glass, I would check the fluid level. Make sure it had the proper fluid level. From here, we'll go on and do Form B. Form B, we have to name each item, point to or touch the item, and fully explain what we're inspecting the item for. And we'll start with Form B, which will be the driver door fuel area, underneath the vehicle, the driver's side axle, also the rear of the vehicle. Start with the door. Door should have no holes in it, fits good to the cab, should open and close. My seal is not ripped or torn, should be intact. Also, the hinges are secure. Bolts are tight on my hinges. We'll inspect my mirror. Should be securely mounted. Brackets not damaged. Should be secure and tight. Mirror should be clean, not broken or cracked. Check my steps. Should be clean. Steps should be securely mounted, not broken, no fluid or debris on my steps. Check a fuel tank. Strap should be secure. Cap should be on tight. I have to check my fuel tank and my cap for leaks. Truck is not equipped with DEF, but if I had a DEF tank, I would check it the same as my tank, securely mounted, not leaking. Check any lights that I have on the side of my vehicle. Front should be amber in color, securely mounted, not cracked, should also be clean. Check my DOT reflective tape, should be securely mounted, not peeling or cracked. Red lights on the back of my vehicle should be securely mounted, clean, not cracked. We'll then inspect the underside of the vehicle. We'll start with our exhaust system. Must check it from where it leaves the engine or the turbo to the tailpipe. It should be securely mounted, no signs of soot. Any of the piping or clamps should be tight. No holes in the exhaust, no severe dents or damage. We would check that from the engine all the way to our tailpipe. If we had any emission devices, we would check those the same way as we checked our exhaust. We'll inspect our frame. All my bolts should be secure. Frame should be straight, no cracks. Also check my cross members. They should also be secure, straight, no cracks in my cross members. We would check our drive shaft. All my bolts should be tight on my drive shaft. It should be straight with no cracks. My U-joints, all my bolts should be tight and free of any foreign object in my U-joints. From here we'll go to the rear axle. I'll check my leaf springs. None are broken, not cracked, none are missing, all in alignment. Check my torque arm. Make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, straight, and the bushings are not worn, thin, or missing. Check our U-bolts. They should be securely mounted. Nuts are tight, not broken or missing. The spring mounts. Check the front and the rear spring mount. They should be securely mounted, not cracked, any bushings not torn or missing. We'll go on and check our brake parts. Brake hoses should not be cut, cracked, or swollen. Fittings should be secure and not leaking. Check my brake chamber. Should be securely mounted, not cracked, dented, or leaking. Clamp on the brake chamber. Make sure my clamp is in place. Check a push rod. Comes out of the back of the brake chamber. Should not have more than 1 inch of travel when I apply my foot brake. Not bent or broke. Check my slack adjuster. Pin is in place, holding the slack adjuster to the push rod. Should be securely mounted, not cracked. Check my brake drums. Should be securely mounted. No holes, smooth, not cracked. Should have no grease or oil. Brake pads should be sufficient, at least 1/4 of an inch. No grease or oil on my brake pads. And we'll go to the wheel. I'll check that rear tire should have minimum 2/32 of tread depth. No splits or cuts on the sidewalls. Tread evenly worn with no flat spots. Check my valve stem. Make sure it's not missing, twisted. Also has a cap. Check the tire pressure with an air gauge. Check my rim. No cracks on our rim. Should not be bent. No rust trails indicating loose lug nuts. No aftermarket welds on my rim. Check our lug nuts. None are missing. Not loose. No distorted lug nut holes. No rust trails indicating loose lug nuts. Check the axle seal. Make sure the axle seal is not leaking. If it had a sight glass, I would check fluid level. This one does not have a sight glass. Now check in between my tires. Make sure the tires are evenly spaced. No gap in between the rims. They should be flush together. No debris in between my tires. We'll now check the rear of the vehicle. Check our mud flaps. Make sure they're securely mounted, not ripped or torn. Check our rear lights. Should be red in color on the rear of our vehicle. They're not cracked. Should be securely mounted, clean. Check all my lights on the rear of the vehicle. Check my DOT reflective tape. Should be clean, not ripped or torn, securely mounted. Also check the door. Should be no damage to the door. Fits good to the back of the vehicle. Opens and closes properly. Any seal should be intact. Hinges are secure with bolts. That concludes Form B. We'll go on and do the in-cab inspection engine start. We'll do our in-cab inspection. For the in-cab inspection, we must demonstrate everything. First thing we'll inspect is our safety equipment. We should have a fire extinguisher, should be mounted, fully charged, 3 red reflective triangles, and spare fuses. And we'll check our seat belt. Must fit properly and must be secure. It's not cut or frayed or torn. Must be securely attached to the floor, up by the shoulder, and it should latch properly. We'll do our engine start. First thing we'll do is turn our key on. Our ABS light should go on and go off. If we had a DEF light, that should also go on and off. If the DEF light stays on, that indicates we have less than 1/8 of a tank of DES fluid. We would need to get some DEF fluid. We'll do our start. We'll make sure our clutch is engaged, also that we're in neutral. We'll start our engine. First thing I'd like to check is my oil pressure gauge. It should rise in a safe operating range. I'll check my temperature gauge. Needle moves. Operating in a safe range. My voltmeter Make sure it's operating in a safe range. Also check my air gauges. They should be working properly. Pressure building to 120 pounds, approximately 120 pounds. And should build the governor cutoff. When it builds the governor cutoff, it should purge. Go on and check my lighting indicators on my dash. Make sure my left arrow is blinking. My right arrow is blinking. My four-ways, both arrows are blinking. Then I would turn my headlights on and make sure my high beam light works. We'll check my horn. I got my electric horn and my air horn. I'll check my wipers, make sure that they operate properly. The rubber blades aren't cracked with a good contact to the windshield. My metal arms are secure, no damage to my metal arms. Have to turn those on and also spray the fluid. Make sure that works properly. I would check my heater. Make sure my heater blows in the bottom. Then I would check my defroster. Make sure my defroster's working also. We'll check my windshield. Must be clean, no cracks or chips, no stickers on my windshield. I would also make sure my mirrors are adjusted properly. No stickers on my mirrors, and they're clean. We'll inspect our braking system. We'll inspect our parking brake. We must be at governor cutoff, 120 pounds. Should also purge when we reach governor cutoff. There was our purge. We'll test our parking brake by having our parking brake applied. And we'll put it in low gear. Ease out on the clutch just until we can feel our parking brake grabbing. It should hold our vehicle. To check our service brake, we'll release our parking brake, put our truck in low gear, pull forward 5 miles an hour, and then hit our foot brake. Make sure that our wheel does not pull left or right when we apply our brake. We will now do our air brake check. Again, we must build our air pressure to 120 pounds, which is governor cutoff on this particular vehicle. We'll also air purge, just purged. Air brake check is a pass-fail item on the test. You must do it exactly correct or else it's automatic fail. First step is building pressure to governor cutoff, and it purges. We'll then shut our engine off. We will then turn our key to the on position so our gauges will work. We will release our parking brake. We'll push this parking brake in. We'll apply the foot brake. I will let my air gauge settle. Once my air gauge stabilizes, we will need to time and check for our leaks. I'm going to set up the stopwatch. My air gauge is stabilized. My foot's on the foot brake. I'll start my minute time. Watching my air gauge, we cannot lose more than 3 pounds in 1 minute. I have my window down, so I'm also listening for air leaks. Must hold it for the full minute. There's the 1 minute. Did not lose more than 3 pounds in a minute. Also did not hear any air leaks. Second part of the air brake check is checking your low air warning device. What we'll do is pump our brake pedal approximately 55 to 60 pounds, depending on what the truck is set at. Lower warning device should come on, buzzer should come on, light should come on warning you you're getting low on air. We'll continue pumping the brake pedal or fanning the brake. Between 20 and 40 pounds, our parking brake should pop out automatically. Our parking brake popped out and our brakes have closed. And that concludes the air brake check. That concludes the in-cab inspection. We'll then can go out and inspect the operation of our lights.